Welcome to the piano tutorial for Sleepyhead by Passion Pit. For those of you who have seen my video, which is a piano cover of that song from 8 years ago, I thank you for being here, bearing with me all these years, because I'm finally getting around to making this tutorial. Big thank you. If this is your first time watching my channel, please subscribe if you'd like to see more music-related content coming your way. Also leave a comment below if this helped you out. And once again, if you find this helpful, please like. Every like and every subscription really helps, so I appreciate it. Let's get right into it. This song has two parts. First off, we're in the key of A flat major. So you're going to want to make note of that. A flat is our 1 chord. E flat is our 5 chord. And D flat is our 4 chord. Right off the bat, you can probably hear that. But we'll get there. So that A flat 1, 5, E flat, 4, D flat. Again, those are all major. That's actually going to be in part 2 of the song because I'm breaking it up into chunks. Part 1 starts on F minor, which in the key of A flat is the 6, which is minor. So F minor arpeggio, F, A flat, C. Now listen to that again. Same thing. You're going to go 6, major 5, major 4, minor 6, major 5, major 4. Okay, I'll just give you a little taste of the intro because the two parts, part 1 is for the verse and part 2 is for the synth solo. Keep that in mind. The introduction uses both. So here's the introduction. And everything is going to the beat. And everything is going to the beat. I play it this way. And everything is going to the beat. That is what I came up with. It sounds good, even though he's not really singing those pitches. It works well to bring the song in. You do that twice. One more time. And then start in with your 6, 5, 4 chords. Pretty simple. You're just going to be doing those same notes. Please, unicorn, eat tacos with me. Whatever he says. Please let me hold you. Please come home with me. There's debate on what that sample is saying, but it's really not even saying anything in English, so it can say whatever you want it to say. It does have some meaning. I can't remember the language. The original samples used in this song, which are the intro, that part, and also in the verse. Those samples come from another song, Oh My Little Boat by Mary O'Hara. And if you haven't heard that, go listen to it because it'll give you a better understanding of the song. Anyway, side note. So, samples in the right hand, chord progression in the left. Okay, but we're not going to go that far yet. We're just going to be doing the... And then there's always a synthesizer. However you want to put that rhythm in, if you want to hit it every time or just syncopate it between the hands. See how I was doing? Or I usually like to build it a little bit, so when you're going through it, the first time you play it, a little minimalist. As you go through, add a little bit more and go a little higher. So the first time, so 4. Now we're going to do the E tacos with me. That is how I finish the intro. I play that A flat second inversion chord in the right hand, broken up from top down over the 4. Sounds really nice. And then you're ready to springboard off that and jump into part 1. So here's the first verse. So we got our... Notice the chord progression for part 1. Burning solid, burning thin to burn. Like stars, burning holes right through the dark. Flicking fire like salt water to my eyes. When you get to my eyes, that's where you're going to drop your left hand down an octave, and you're doing the same thing. My eyes, you are 1 inch from the edge of this bed. I dragged you back, a sleepyhead, sleepyhead. Pardon all the singing, but I'm doing that to illustrate a point. You're not going to need sheet music to do that. If you learn the lyrics to the song and you can sing the tune, it's a lot easier to put it in your hand, especially since that's what's happening on top. That's the main melody going on here, since that's what is being sung. Okay, but there's a missing link in there, the sample from the folk song. Okay, we need to throw that in. While we're at it, let's turn our left hand into what I like to call the handbell part. Because if you watch an old video, when Passion Pit performed it live, I'm not sure if they did it this way every time or not, but I've seen a handful of videos. One that comes to mind is live on KEXP 10 years ago or so, however long ago it was. A couple members of the band, when they get to the verse, a lot of the instruments drop out and they pick up handbells and they start ringing handbells. Just with that little 8th note rhythm. So that's what you're going to simulate with your left hand in broken arpeggios. So the F minor, you're going to drop out the 3rd and just do 1-5-1, basic power chord arpeggio. And instead of doing this, you're going to use the 3rd as your root, so it goes like this. Feel free to rewind this as needed, just to pick up things that maybe I'm going a little fast on. But here that is again, this is the basic progression. And when he first starts singing and that starts happening after the intro, it's a really light texture. There's not a whole lot going on in the mix of the song. So having your left hand up high gives it that feel, makes it feel like, wow, everything just dropped out and disappeared. But as the verse goes on, I can't remember the word right now because it's in the middle of the verse, but as you get to that climax in the middle of the verse, you're going to drop down another octave, keep building, and then when you're finally going sleepyhead, when you get to you're going to drop down one more octave and slam out octaves on your left hand. So I'm going to take you through the progression. And I'm going to put both of them together. The part you're really going to have to practice is the timing of mixing two melodies. So around the brim, burning solid, burning thin to burn, like stars burning holes right through the dark. Right there. Into my eyes. Go up to that F. That's the highest note in this whole section. That's when your hand drops an octave. The Sleepyhead. After you do that, we're going back to part 2. Before we go on, let me play you the whole thing slow with all 3 things going on. Sample, vocal melody, handbells, bass. Down. Down. It's a big dynamic build. And then we're in a progression 2 on 1, 5, 4. That verse is very dynamic. So every time you drop an octave, take the dynamics up a little bit. Here it is full speed. Yeah, so there's an idea for what you can do. I'm not going through note by note, but again, learn the vocals, sing it, watch my melody, what I was doing earlier, go back and watch it as many times as you need. And again, what you're going to have to practice is figuring out the timing. And you said it was like fire. Figuring out basically how to accompany. Have your right hand play a melody and then accompany itself. The thumb does a lot, which, you know, it's horrible classical piano technique to use your thumb all over all the black notes, but that's what you got to do for this. Part 2. You already know the progression? We're going to break it up like this, though. 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 5. But up here we're going to go 1, 3, 1, 5. Gives it a little more warmth throwing the third note in there. Do that again on the 4. Twice. That's the idea. There's your left hand practice. Right hand, so here's the fun part. The synthesizer solo. On a synth, you know, if you have an actual monophonic synthesizer, when you hold down one note and then play another note, it cancels out the note that's being held down. Which obviously you can't do on a piano. So there's a melody that's being played while on the synth this note's being held down the whole time. So they're doing it two-handed. Holding this note while playing the melody. That's basically it. So, put that in one hand. Here though. so it's just a little nice A flat major melody. Really, really nice. Now you just have to add this note in between. We don't have the luxury of having 3 hands, so make your thumb do the work there. 16th notes, 8th notes. 2 notes per every 1 note in the left hand. So work up the tempo. How fast can you go? Anyway, you get the idea. You can memorize that just by playing it over and over and over again. And if you can play it above the actual tempo, when you get it in the right tempo, much easier. So now that's going to take us back into part 1 again. A little bit of variation because it's different vocals, right? They couldn't think of something to say the day you burst. You're not going to have the what you said it was like. Nope, you just start. They couldn't think of something to say the day you burst. Those hungry lions with all their might and all their thirst. And yeah, there's variations. It's not going to be every note exactly as the recording was. You're going to have to maybe lay out one here in order to get another one there. But as you practice it, you'll get the feel for it and know what to do. So I'm going to take you from the synth solo into the second verse. We've now covered the whole song pretty much. Introduction. Verse 1. All the way down to here. Part 2, synth solo is where we're starting. There's a little embellishment. Fills up the space. Blends well with the handbells. This part's actually different. And while we're here, let me just quickly talk about like a sleepyhead. When he's singing this, he's got a voice lower than him, which is a third lower, and a voice that's a third higher. So you've got A flat major, G diminished, and then F minor. Right back into the solo. This time on the solo, halfway through it, he shouts, "Go ahead." That's going to be again up here. And it's going to segue you into playing the synth solo again, but an octave higher. But you'll stay in the same spot down here. So, like a sleepyhead, here we go. Repeat this. That's the other part that's different. More of a build. Get that 4, hang on to it for a while. 5, 1. Then again, just part 1. And that's the end of the song. If you have any questions for me, just leave a comment below. Remember to like this video and subscribe if it helped you and if you'd like to see more things like this. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time.